Hi everyone, this is your colleague Andrew Klunk. Today I'll be talking about crowdfunding. It is a topic that is both a personal interest of mine and may be useful to many of you in the future, especially those seeking to become entrepreneurs. Crowdfunding is the process of funding a project or venture by raising money from a large number of people, each contributing small amounts. It is typically done through a platform on the internet. Although the concept has grown and gained recognition alongside the advancement of the internet and social media, it is not a new concept. Finding alternative means of financing other than banks has been around for centuries. Neighboring farmers have been known to pool money together to grow crops, with the payment being that same crop come harvest. Furthermore, America's greatest icon, the Statue of Liberty, was partially built through a crowdfunding campaign. Once traditional government financing fell through to build a base for the monument, a newspaper-led campaign brought in private donations, and the project was completed. So what are the different types of crowdfunding? There are 5 major models of crowdfunding. The first 2 are reward and pre-purchase based crowdfunding. These are the 2 we typically hear about on the news. The next is donation-based crowdfunding. This one is self-explanatory. A 4th type is lender or debt-based crowdfunding model. In this model, contributors give money in exchange for interest in repayment of the principal amount in a set time frame. Think of a bank loan. Last, the newest model is equity-based crowdfunding. I have highlighted the first 2 in the last type. These are the most popular, and I'll be taking a closer look at these next. Reward and pre-purchase crowdfunding. These are pretty similar, which is why I grouped them together. In reward and pre-purchase based crowdfunding, contributors receive a reward or a future product, many times both. Common platforms include Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and GoFundMe. All these sites use a combination of reward or pre-purchase based models. To illustrate how it works, I'll take you through an example. I, Andrew, am an aspiring hip-hop star and need money to fund recording my new album. Banks won't lend to me because apparently college students don't have the best credit. So to get the money, I set up a Kickstarter with the goal to raise $30,000. This will pay for the album's production and delivery. I pre-sell the albums for $20, but if you're willing to pay $30, you'll get a signed deluxe copy. Once the $30,000 goal is met, I deliver. However, if it's not met, I return the funds. Now let's take a look at the strengths and weaknesses of the reward and pre-purchase based crowdfunding models. First, looking at the pros in the green column. Like all types of crowdfunding, it provides an alternative source of financing. Traditionally, entrepreneurs had to rely on banks, capital markets, family and friends, super wealthy individuals, and their own personal resources to raise funds. Considering that banks have become more stringent post-2008 and student loan debt has dried up many personal accounts, any source of capital is welcome. Second, contributors are able to receive the product faster and gain access to exclusive content. And last, giving entrepreneurs and small businesses more access to capital means more jobs and related economic growth. Now let's move on to the weaknesses. One con is that contributors don't receive ownership and therefore cannot participate in any potential upside in the future. Another major con is that it is a limited capital pool. Because these are pre-purchases, most of the capital must go towards inventory and production, leaving little for growth activities. Last, if target funding goals aren't met, then the transaction may never even happen at all. Further, less than savory characters may also misuse the funds. In equity-based crowdfunding, contributors receive an equity ownership interest in the business in exchange for their monetary contribution or investment. People don't just want to pre-purchase items, they want to participate in a future upside of the business. This was made possible when Obama signed Title III of the Jumpstart Our Business Startup Act, aka the Jobs Act, on April 5, 2012. The goal of the act was to allow average Americans the ability to gain equity ownership through direct investments in startups and small businesses, while also offering some protections to those investors. There is a reason not everyone is able to participate in private equity deals. They are risky, extremely risky. Indeed, as many as 80% of startups will go belly up within 12 months. The Jobs Act opens up a new capital pool while creating some caveats that protect investors. I will speak more on them later. Evaluating the equity-based model. Some of the pros and cons are similar in all models, and were mentioned earlier, so I am mainly going to touch base on the major points unique to the equity model. Beginning with the pros in the green column, the one that stands out is that contributors are able to gain equity ownership. This means that contributors become investors and can participate fully in future financial returns associated with the company. In other words, everyone can live out his or her Shark Tank fantasy. A second benefit for the investor is that this model does offer some investor protections. For example, participating companies must provide audited statements upon an initial offering, and the transactions are limited to SEC-registered intermediaries or crowdfunding platforms. But this is a double-edged sword. While the protections are pros for investors, they are added costs for the companies. Staying on this con side, it should be mentioned that these investments are illiquid and risky, even with the protections in place. They are far from a blue chip stock that can be bought or sold with a few mouse clicks. Thank you for listening to my video. I hope you enjoyed. Please take some time to review the discussion questions posted on this slide. Leave any comments or questions on the Canvas discussion board.